Hey everyone, I'm Molly Jacobson. I'm a writer. I live on Maui. I'm the editor of this book, The Dog Cancer Survival Guide. I've never done any kind of live video before, so I want you to be very patient with me today and jump in and ask questions and guide me on this journey because I've decided that I want to take some time and connect with you directly. I've been working with this topic, dog cancer, since 2007. That's a long time to be thinking about dog cancer every day. And over that time, I've heard from hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people on our blog, where Dr. Dressler, the author of the Dog Cancer Survival Guide, and his co-author, Dr. Sue Ettinger, you may know as Dr. Sue Cancer Vet, where they've written for years blog comments, our customer support email, phone calls, our Facebook group, and those on this page. And I know that all of you struggle. I've struggled as a parent of a dog with cancer, and that we feel sometimes alone. And so I thought I would every once in a while jump on and do what I'm calling Stories with Molly, maybe Tuesdays with Molly. Some people want me to do this every Tuesday. I'm going to see how this goes before I make that commitment. But basically, I'm a storyteller first. And so I have a lot of stories. And I am looking for a way for people to connect and talk to each other with their stories, but also for me to tell you some of the stories I've learned over the years. I know this subject really well as a layperson. I know the book inside and out because I have to. And I've been hearing stories over the years. And so I'm just really interested in what you guys would like to know. So I encourage you, as I speak and tell my story today, go ahead and leave comments, things that you'd like to know more about. My skill is not in conveying medical information because I'm not a veterinarian or an MD or a human physician. My skill is in telling you stories so that you understand the medical information you're getting. So one of the most important things that I know as a dog parent of a dog with cancer, and as somebody who's been watching people struggle with this for over a decade now, is in the back of our minds, when our dogs have cancer, we know that they're going to die someday. Maybe more than any other illness or condition that they have. Cancer means death to the human brain. We assume that this illness is going to kill our dogs. It's not always true. A lot of dogs die of other things. But once your dog has cancer, death is on your mind. And I'm going to speak very bluntly because I know that none of us have the time or the bandwidth, honestly, for anything else. So just know that whenever I speak, I'm speaking with a heart full of love, and I'm trying my best to be as clear as possible. So ask questions. If you need me to clarify things, I'll always answer questions in the comments. So death is always on our mind when we have dogs. And death is also always on our mind when we have dogs with cancer, because we know that their lives are short already. And we know that we want them to live forever because they feel like members of our family. They feel they're smaller than us. They're dependent on us. They aren't human children, but they can trigger the same feelings in us as human children do. We have that same urge to care for them. We have that same urge to make sure that they're safe. And so when they have cancer, it challenges every single urge that we have. It makes us feel a little crazy because our baby is not supposed to have cancer. And similarly, our baby is not supposed to die before us. Humans do not outlive their offspring. Well, dogs can trigger those same feelings in us, and we can start to think our dog shouldn't die. And I have that fear a lot of my dog dying. And it'll hit me in the middle of the day. The other morning I woke up and I said to myself, oh, it's Tuesday, because I always have to remind myself what day it is when I wake up, because otherwise I literally do not know what day it is. Oh, it's Tuesday. This was last Tuesday. And I woke up and first thing in the morning, I see Kanga's face, my little Maltese. She's behind me. She's sleeping curled up behind me. And every morning when I wake up, this dog is looking at me. She's just watching me sleep. The way that I watch my husband sleep. And she's watching me sleep. And when I wake up, her eyes get wider and she's like, "Oh, good morning, Mom." And I swear to God, that morning, I looked at her and I said, "Kanga, I don't want you to ever die," because she was so loving and so unconditionally loving me in that moment. And it was so lovely to be woken up, to wake up to the Tuesday morning and see Kanga loving me. So I thought, I don't ever want to wake up and have you not be there. I want this to be there forever. I want you to outlive me. And she, in my mind, says, "I'll never leave you." Do I know that she said that? No. But I heard a voice in my head. And I thought it was Kanga saying, "I will never leave you." And so what Kanga showed me in my mind, this idea that I have about how the dog experiences death, that might be a little different than how we experience death. I'm not claiming to know what happens after life. I'm not going to take anybody's stories away from them. This is my story that makes me feel better about my dog and my relationship with her. I believe, this is a working theory of mine for a long time, I believe that when dogs are born, they come into this life still so connected to the other side or God or spirit, whatever your word is for that, that they never really fully get here the way we do. They don't forget about the other side of the veil, as my grandmother used to call it. And so they're always sort of halfway in, halfway out. That's why they're so loving. That's why they're so unconditionally sweet. And so I have a working theory that when Kanga said, "I'll never leave you," she meant it literally. And remember, I'm not a crazy person. I know she didn't say that to me, but in my mind, she said that to me. And I have a theory that perhaps dogs really do kind of stick around because they never really come in and they never really go out. And so for them, death is kind of like stepping just this side of the veil, and birth is like stepping just that side of the veil. But they're always very aware of that other place, the one that they came from or the one that they're going to. And so I don't know, when I hear the jingle of keys of tags in a certain way, and I hear my dog Timmy from childhood, died when I was 12, maybe I'm right. Anyway, all of this to say that sometimes we have to make up a story that helps us to get through the dark times. And I want you to know that that is a normal and human thing to do, and that you do not have to feel ashamed or embarrassed. Thanks, Kathy. Thanks for saying you believe me. That does make me feel a little better, because sometimes, you can feel like a crazy person. You can be the crazy dog lady talking to yourself. But I do believe a lot of people think this way, or at least will resonate with us, even if they maybe don't believe the exact words I'm saying. I think maybe there's more to heaven and earth than we dream of. And that because of that, we can trust our dogs and our relationship with our dogs to guide us a little more than maybe we do. Cameron asked, what kind of cancer does Kanga have and how long has she been fighting? So I'm going to have to remember she had in 2018, because it's been almost 2 years since she had her cancer surgery. At the end of 2018, we brought her in actually to Dr. Dressler for a teeth cleaning. And he said, she's got an active infection and I do not want to schedule a teeth cleaning until we get this infection in her mouth cleaned up. So she went on antibiotics, sent us home 2 weeks later after the full course. We brought her back in, and he'd just done a thorough physical exam 2 weeks earlier. And now we're back for the blood work to make sure the infection's cleaned up and to get the blood work for the actual teeth cleaning, just for the anesthesia, making sure her heart was okay. And she was born in 2008, so she had just turned 10 at this point. And as he's giving her another physical exam, which he wasn't going to do, but he had a thought that maybe he should. He said, just let me give a physical. He found this hard lump that he's like, this was not here two weeks ago. And it was sort of near under her rib. He couldn't figure out where it was. He's like, it's in the wrong place. I don't remember exactly where he felt it. So we did an ultrasound right then, and it turned out she had a massive ovarian tumor. And it looked bad. He's like, this does not look good, and I want it out. And so what had been a routine teeth cleaning turned into a much larger surgery that he did, like, I don't remember, it was like within 2 days. And he sent me photos that I never want to see again afterwards. At one point, he had 30 different little blood vessels that he had to tie off. It was a massive surgery. He took out all of her reproductive organs. It had attached itself, I think, to her spleen and her kidney. And he managed to get it all out. And it was a long surgery. And she even got her teeth cleaned a little bit at the very end afterwards, had a few teeth pulled, unfortunately. She's a small dog. And then we just waited for the results. And it turned out it was a type of ovarian tumor that has an 80% chance of being benign if you catch it and you remove it. And we've been assuming that it could come back, but hopefully it will not, knock on wood. And in the meantime, we've been assuming that she could be having micrometastasis, and so checking for spread. And I've got her on the dog cancer diet and the supplements in the book and everything. And I treat her with quality of life. Like, every day is her, possible, like, she might not be around. She's acting like a puppy. So she doesn't, as far as she's concerned, none of this is even happening, which is exactly how I want it. So in any case, I guess my point is that everybody has a terrible story about dog cancer. My story is actually not that terrible. I didn't see a large decline, although looking back, and there's an article I wrote about it. I'll put a link in the comments to the article so you can read more. But we really have to trust ourselves, because when I listen carefully to Kanga and to my other dog, Roo, Kangaroo, like Winnie the Pooh, I know what they want. I know what they need. And if I give them what they want and what they need, then they seem to thrive. And that seems to be true even now that they're closing in on, they're solidly senior citizens now. And I'm just really touched that they chose me to be their mom, I guess, is my point. I think that dogs have a way of choosing us as much as we have of choosing them. So I don't know if I've spoken too long. You can tell me. You can also ask for very specific stories that you'd like to hear about, or if there's a concept in cancer that you don't really understand, like how does a biopsy work, or how does euthanasia go, or, which is a tough thing, but I honestly think it's one of the things that we want to know about, or how does a veterinarian look at cancer as opposed to other illnesses? There are so many things about cancer that are mysterious, and we have our conversations with our veterinarians and they talk to us about treatments. And then we go home and we say, well, what did that really mean? I have a lot of those answers, and I have a lot of those answers in ways that can be easily understood because I can explain them well in ways that are not too technical. It's just a skill I've had my whole life. So I hope that if you have any kinds of questions at all, you'll put them in the comments and ask me for more information. I'm happy to pass on everything that I know and to ask our veterinarians questions and to tell you the answers. So just because I need to say this, we have a great podcast. If you don't listen to podcasts, you should start. If you're watching this video and your dog has cancer, there is absolutely no reason why you should not be listening to Dog Cancer Answers. DogCancerAnswers.com is the website for the podcast, and youtube.com/dogcancervet is the home on YouTube. So you can see the podcast in video form there. And obviously, the Dog Cancer Survival Guide is a must read. I've been shocked at how many times I have to go back and read it for my own use as a dog lover. And you are the most important person to me, because without you, I don't get to help your dog. So thank you. And thanks from all of us here at Dog Cancer Survival Guide, because there's a lot of us. I happen to be the one on video today, but there isn't anybody who's associated with this project that isn't a terrific dog lover in a way that it just makes me tear up. Even when we hire like a graphic designer, or the person who lays out the book has 5 dogs and cries when she reads it. So you're in good company. And I'm very, very pleased to have done this today. I hope it helped you, and I hope you'll let me know. All right. See you in the comments. Bye.